Yasha Allah, Yahweh, Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh, Achad, Shema, Yasha Allah, Yahweh, Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh, Achad, Shema, Yasha Allah, Yahweh, Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh, Achad, Barakah Yahweh, Barakah Yahweh, Barakah Yahweh, Barakah Yahweh, Barakah Yahweh, Barakah Yahweh, Bahasar Chakodas. I want to give double honor to our elder apostles and elder bishops, great millstone who well, as well as peace and blessings out there, well to the house of David the elect. I was a high spirit and lawyer. Today I want to go into a lesson, a live stream entitled Raccoon Mentality Video Response. Raccoon Mentality Video Response, and this is a response from Elder Apostle Hart's video, Raccoon Mentality, all right, with Shannon Sharpton and Charles Brockman. I didn't watch the video yet. Well, I didn't watch the video that he did a response to. I just watched the video to his response. All right, and I was on my way to work when I saw the video. All right, so I'm just gonna do the video on his response. And the thing that resonated with me is the raccoon mentality that he mentioned. In certain aspect is everywhere, but it's, you know, it's rooted in the South because of what we had to eat in slavery, what we ate outside of slavery, when we were free from slavery. And Jake pretty much ate survival food. All right, Jake pretty much ate survival food. Jake didn't really have the laws, but what was done out of straits, what was done out of necessity, is now done through culture. And in regards of what we call soul food, which is in a lot of cases slave food, all right, is rooted in straits, is rooted in the curses from Yahweh Bashma Shai. And just like every other aspect of the curses, we made the curses the culture. We made the curses the culture. So eating pork, eating swine, all right, that was really rooted in the curses, because in slavery, not only were we given swine, we was eating the discards of the swine, the chitlins, all right? But 2024, you know, especially the baby boomers, all right, they still eat swine, they still eat chitlins, right? The discards of swine. And a majority of our people still eat pork, they still eat catfish, all right? The most popular fish in the South, or I would say at least in Mississippi, is catfish. All right, it's kind of like this, almost the theme of fish in Mississippi. We have a lot of catfish. Okay, but if you go into catfish, if you look up certain videos on catfish, if you go into the dietary law, it tells you not to eat fish unless they have fins and scales. Well, the catfish doesn't have scales. Okay, the catfish does not have scales. All right. So the fish doesn't have fins or scales. Then you'll find out that the Most High has a reason why he set certain animals to the side for them to not be eaten, because the animals have a purpose within his ecosystem. And that ecosystem, all right, in the ocean, in the waters, within the waters and the ponds and the lakes, all right, there are bottom feeders within that ecosystem, all right, and their job is to eat the discards in the ponds. The job is to eat other animals. The job is really to filter the waters within that biosphere. All right, within that ecosystem. Okay. Same thing with swine. The swine is the Most High's maintenance workers. All right, they eat anything. All right, even buzzards and vultures. All right, anytime there's a dead carcass, what happens? The Most High sends his maintenance workers, the buzzards and vultures, all right, to devour the carcass, to keep his planet clean, all right? But our people make a culture out of eating the Most High scavengers, all right? That is pagan, and that is heathen. Then you have Jakes that say, nah, I don't eat pork. Well, you know, I eat it every now and then. Well, some Jakes would be like, you know, I don't eat the swine, but I eat wild boar. No, wild boar is still swine, man. And they'll fight to the grave, they'll fight to the death to argue that wild boar is different from swine when it's still swine, man. All right. But me being in the South, me being from Mississippi, and I grew up eating bacon and sausages, and around New Year's we'll eat chitlins, man. And as I got older, it started to become clear what it was. Based off the smell, that like this is not a delightful thing. Nonetheless, it wasn't until I came into the knowledge that I stopped eating abominable things. All right, but the point is, we've made the curses a part of the culture. The scripture says that a woman will have an evil eye towards the husband of her bosom. But now we have something called feminism, and our women love that. And their theme, their argument is that there's something wrong with the so-called black man. That goes back to the curses, man. All right. Our people eating abominable things, going back to the topic, that's rooted back in the curses. All right. We've made sin a part of the curses. Adultery is very big, especially, I'm quite sure it's big all over, man, but especially in the South, man. It's adultery, debauchery, it's big, especially in the South, That's just the point, man. All right, but our people, as sick as our people are, if you look at the parts of the United States where people have the highest heart attack, the highest rates in heart failure, heart attack, it's the Bible Belt. It's the part of the United States where people culturally eat what they call soul food, slave food. All right, it's the part of the United States where there's not a lot of health restaurants. There's a lot of dry deserts. All right, there's a lot of gas stations with those little chicken joints inside of it, man. All right, and even if you did put a health store, a health restaurant in some of these places in the South, all right, especially in the deep South, in Mississippi and all those things, your restaurant, your establishment might not survive because you might not get a lot of traffic. That's one perk of being around the liberals, like in Cali and maybe New York. I hate to say it, but they be on point as far as health. They're more health conscious. The liberals, the ideology is of saying, that liberal mindset, but they're more on point in regards to being health conscious. The woke cultures. I would think that usually if you're in an environment that's classified as woke, it's probably more health conscious. But if it's more conservative, more traditional, all right, I believe those type of environments have less healthier options in regards to food. You see? Like I said, this is really a video response to the raccoon mentality, that you're going to find out that it's not really the systemic oppression that holds down Jake. It's the mentality that he has. Because in a lot of cases, you have options. All right? The number one cause of death. Let me see if I got some water 1 second. It's a lot. The number one cause of death to the so-called black man after the age of 44 is heart disease, heart attacks. And that's facts. And that's facts. And ever since the advent of the you-know-what in 2020, that's been increasing. But the number one cause of death to the so-called black man after the age of 44 is heart disease, heart attacks, heart failure. All right? Before the age of 44 is gun violence. But you'll find out that it's not so much a systemic oppression that causes Jake to have heart attacks. It's the mentality that he's developed within the standard American diet, within Southern culture. All right? All right, it's the mentality that he's never outgrown, because he's been eating this way since he was a child. A lot of us have been eating this way since we were children. But Yahweh, Shai showed us a better light. So yeah, you may not be a Jake that's into the streets. You might not condone the street mentality. You might not be somebody that, you know, was doing illegal things. All right, you might have got a 9-to-5 and been a structured person. But hey, man, if you tapped into that standard American diet, man, you still cause your own harm. All right, cause your own effect. All right, cause your own suffering. All right, same thing with the streets. Yeah, you might be in the streets and you might have been systemically oppressed. But at the end of the day, for most people, you have a choice. When you were young, you may not have much of a choice, but when you become older, you have a choice, man. All right. So you're gonna realize that a lot of Jakes are in their positions because of their mentality. All right, it's your mindset. It's your mindset. It's your mindset. All right. Even myself, you know, I'm not in the streets, but certain setbacks you've had, you can't really attribute it to Satan. It's because it's a mindset that I may have had. All right. Certain character flaws put you in the position you're in. All right, or even if it is rooted back in Satan from a spiritual perspective, you know, you have to resist Satan. All right. All right, you have to resist Satan, man. Okay. Because you're gonna find out that it's your mentality that puts you in a position that you are in. All right. Like I said, we have the curses and we have the trials from Yahweh Shai, but we have to make sure that we're on point to it ourselves, despite the curses, despite the trials, man. And we can't let this kingdom turn us into Homer Simpson, in the sense that you just get laxed. You know, you might have a woman that's playing that role, man, and you know what I mean, playing that role, and you might be eating and you have that routine. You get off work, you might grab something to eat. You might grab something to eat, man. You might kick back, get a beer, and then you and your woman might watch a movie. But if you're not being physically active, you know, like Tupac said, or who we believe is Tupac, said that how many guys you know over 30 doing push-ups, doing pull-ups and stuff, you know, something to that effect. Because after a while, this kingdom just, it kills that edge in you. So you got to fight to have that edge. You know, you don't want this kingdom to turn you to, you know, Homer Simpson and, you know, in the sense that, like I said, you get off work, you probably eat standard American diet, kick back, drink a beer. But as time progresses, you got weights that you don't know how the weight came on you, man. Because if you're a Jake with a slow metabolism like myself, man, that weight will just sneak up on you, man. You know, that weight will just sneak up on you see? Because if you go off if you're not resisting the standard American diet, which is it's a challenge, because especially down here in the South, the majority of the food you eat is really standard American food, you know? And then it's convenient. You know, I call it the 4 C's: culture, cost, comfort, and convenience, man. Culture, cost, comfort, and convenience. Those are the 4 C's that, you know, allow Jake to really ruin and destroy himself through his diet. You know? So we have to make sure that we have a mindset that's contrary to the mindset that's been engineered, all right, through consumerism, through ultimately the elites, but the Food and Drug Administration, so you can eat poorly, so you can depend on their system. You know, I don't want to say too much because of the algorithm, and they pick up certain words, they delete your videos. Okay. But, you know, it's easy for this kingdom to manufacture a Homer Simpson. It's easy for this kingdom to manufacture a guy that looks nothing like how he did in high school or when he was in his 20s. You know, you get in your 40s and you look nothing like you did in your 20s, man. You know, it's not really normal. You know, of course you change, you get grays. You know, you get grays or whatever. But I'm talking about, like, you just look totally different, man. because Jake wasn't meant to consume processed food. 70% of Jake's diet is supposed to be plants. It's a 70-30 ratio. So 70% of your diet is supposed to be fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains. I was looking up the pre-Columbian West African diet, not the West African diet, but the pre-Columbian. I'm sorry, the pre-colonized West African diet, not Colombian, because Columbus wasn't in West Africa, all right? But the pre-colonized West African diet, meaning how Jake ate in West Africa before they were colonized, all right? And the rice really came by way of the Portuguese, from what I researched. But before they were colonized, the majority of Jake's diet was really vegetables, fruits, vegetables, man. Fruits, vegetables, yams, squash, you know, leafy greens, a whole lot of leafy greens. How many Jakes do you see eating like that now? And they would eat fish. That would be the so-called meat source in a lot of cases, but the majority of it was really plants, man. You know, and more rarely you eat, you know, red meat or whatever, but the majority of it was more vegetarian, pescatarian. Pescatarian meaning you ate fish, mostly fish, and it was very reflective of what I would believe was the Hebrew way, the Mediterranean diet. You know, if you go into this article called the Israelite Cuisine, it basically described Jake's diet as mostly vegetables, fruits, vegetables, a lot of soups and stews. And that pre-colonized West African diet was mainly soups and stews. But along with that, you had fish. Okay, ain't there some? So it was very reflective. The pre-colonized West African diet was very reflective of the Israelite cuisine, which was mainly when you got off work, you had soups, stews, or you might have had fish with it certain days. All right. You had, of course, bread, because bread was the theme in the Mediterranean, but real bread lasts no more than 3 days. You know, we had yayan, that was part of it. All right, so we had wine, we had bread, we had olives or olive oil. All right, that was the Mediterranean triad: the bread, the olives, and the yayan, the wine. Okay, but it was nothing like what we're eating here. So Jake is totally out of tune with his native diet, with his native way of living. With his native way of living, Jake is totally out of tune with that. All right, Jake is totally out of tune. That's why Jake, man, get around 30 and stuff start going wrong. Things start going wrong, man, because your body is a vehicle. And it tells you in Sirach 30 that health and strength is better than riches. So Jake has all the opportunity in the world to get that bag, but Jake could be health-wise piss poor. But that's why, like I said, Jake turned 30 and things started going wrong because your body being a vehicle, it needs a certain type of fuel. And maybe when you're in your teens and 20s, your metabolism was very high, so you was breaking down some of everything. But when your metabolism starts to slow down after 30, man, then that weight sticks. That processed food doesn't digest. Your body only really digests food. This food. But if it's not a vitamin, mineral, nutrient, if it's not from the planet Earth, it might be stored as visceral fat or just fat connected to your body, like your love handles, your stomach, your thighs. All right. Like this Jake Yaki was breaking down that fat is on your body like that because it's really encapsulating toxins. So it's on the outside of your body like that because your body really doesn't have a place for it inside the body. But that real dangerous fat is that visceral fat which surrounds your organs, man. All right. Then you have the plaque. All right. What Dr. Saber would call the mucus that is inside of your arteries, your veins, which thins out your blood circulation, which thins out your oxygen circulation. All right. So one thing that's really important is to be physically active to where your heart is really beating. All right. And you're really getting that blood flowing through your arteries. A lot of times you might have performance issues downstairs because there's a poor blood circulation, you know, downstairs, man. among other reasons. All right, among other reasons, man, like stress and things you watch on the internet that can just get your dopamine so high, and now you're kind of desensitized to the regular thing, you know. But the thing is, man, you know, a lot of this is rooted in a mentality that was engineered back in slavery. All right, and I want to what I want to emphasize is that we can't let this kingdom make us laxed. So we have that Homer Simpson mentality. We have that we don't have any resistance about ourselves. We got to resist this matrix. All right, so we won't be defeated by this matrix. So we won't be defeated by Babylon, man. Babylon feeds us garbage in every aspect, man, and we're the consumers of the garbage. Like I said, by the time you get in your 30s, it's kind of like downhill, man. Or by the time you get in your 30s, it's downhill. All right, but with that, I do hope you brothers and sisters were edified. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Kahakodash. I also want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. Above, come Yashala, Shalom.